Let's go back and join Jason Dunstall.
Well, congratulations on purchasing a Melbourne Cup pin. Tui's New and Channel 7 would like to say thanks, and in doing so, we're going to give you a 3-month supply of Tui's New. How does that sound?
That is terrific news. Excellent.
Kind of figured you might enjoy that.
That's good. That's great.
Now, don't think if you're sitting at home that you miss out either. All you have to do is make a donation to the Camp Quality Tui's New Melbourne Cup appeal. That's 1300 662 267, and you're in the running for a 3-month supply of Tui's New as well. And this hour's home viewer winner is Tim Fawcett from South Melbourne, right here in Victoria.
Fantastic scenes here at Flemington on this glorious spring day, the first Tuesday in November. And the crowds continue to build as we work towards the Tui's New Melbourne Cup. Speaking of Tui's, our Tui's home viewer winner is Tim Fawcett. So Tim from South Melbourne generously donated money to Camp Quality. He wins 3 months supply of Tui's New, or the cash equivalent. So if you'd like to make a donation, it's 1300 662 267, and you can do that from your home right now. Race 4 is not too far away. The mares have left the mounting yard. They're on their way to the posts. Let's join Paul Salmon.
Yes, I'm down here at the Tui's New Marquee with the great man himself, tennis legend Leighton Hewitt. What are you drinking, mate? Because you've shot up a bit lately.
Yeah, shot up. I've actually had to stand on a bit here to try and get taller than you, but it'll be the first time I think that's happened to you.
I don't know about you, but I'm very uncomfortable in this position. Mate, the Davis Cup just around the corner. You must be very excited about that against Spain in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, really looking forward to it. After the last match that I played was against Federer in that comeback match, so I'm just really looking forward to it. And to play for Australia, there's no better honour. And these dreams don't come around every week, so all the boys will be real pumped up for it.
And recent Davis Cup experience against Spain with the crowd, you'd be hoping the Aussies get right behind you.
Yeah, it's always awesome. And I think, the way the crowd got behind me, it would have been bloody tough to come back from 2 sets of love down like that and a breakdown in the third, away from home. So, the Melbourne crowd really enjoys their tennis and they loved it here. And I think now with the grass court, we've got a slight advantage.
Backing a winner here today?
Don't know about that. Just lost the first one then. So, we'll see what happens. But, I don't know who to really tip. Like 5 or 10 minutes before the race, I'll whack saying on someone.
Good idea, mate. Well, very best of luck with it. And, of course, the Davis Cup live on 7. And get down, will you?
Yeah, for sure.
I've done that before on the box. Hey, he's carrying the bags for Greg Norman, you were telling me earlier, in the tournament coming up shortly.
At Coolum, that's exactly right. It'd be quite interesting. They say Leighton's a pretty fair golfer, which I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
And Scott Draper, who is a really good golfer, is playing in a tournament this year, having shot 68 in the qualifying. So there's a nice little mix between the tennis and the golf.
It's a bit like Jana Pittman talking about going to be into swimming as well. So we've got some versatile athletes in this country, Bruce.
We certainly do. And Leighton enjoying himself today. As they go to the barrier for the Cannon Sprint, what's your theory with big weights and sprints? Do you reckon... obviously in the distance races a bit tougher. Does that put you off when a horse has got a big weight in a sprint and you think it might still win?
Yeah, I think weight counts in all distances. I don't go along with theories that it's more important some distances than others. You get back to the great champions of the past, Rising Fast, and those horses, they could carry big weights in long distance races. And the top sprinters over the years, like Time and Tide, they could carry big weights in sprints. I like backing in mares races. I think the quality usually comes through, and often horses that carry the top weight can win. And that's why I think Raja Lane is possibly still a touch over the odds here, with 60, even though she's got 61.5. At the big odds, she is over 20 to 1 on the tote.
Well, she's from Adelaide, Leon McDonald, the trainer. There's another Adelaide mare in this race, Pat Welsh, Swiss Fault. There's been some money for her.
Just a little bit of specking at long odds, and what you see on the tote with the $21 is about comparable in the ring, but these have held it very, very solid. I'm holding Swiss Fault very solid as well. Big money, though, for Recurring and Leone Chiara. They've been the two major firmers in this race, but again, very, very tough race. Edgerton, Toast of the Coast, Dama Denosh, they've all got the blows. Covered Thee has been solid at about double each way odds. Now, Bruce, I've also spoken to several of the leading rails bookmakers re Melbourne Cup. Alan Iskander reports some money for Hugs Dancer. Michael Iskander, Turmeric at a little bit of odds now. So it was back for $1 million yesterday, or take out $1 million yesterday. So Turmeric. Simon Beasley reports Maccabi Diva and Frightening have been the subject of some big wagers so far, and I can tell you that they're all still very wary of Mamul. They're expecting money from Mamul at some stage during the afternoon.
It's typical of a cup that there's going to be 6 or 7 horses that money will be for, and that's no exception this year. And the track conditions will play a part. I think the harder the track gets, probably people are going to perhaps move away from horses like Pentastic. We'll see, but...
Exactly, and a lot of the money for Grey Song, I think, was dependent on it being a slow track. I wouldn't be surprised if he just eased out a point or two as well.
Do you know, Ken, I felt exactly the same thing, but I heard Tom Hughes this morning on radio in Melbourne, and he feels as if the harder track will suit Grey Song at this stage of his career. He thinks he's now just as good on top of the ground as he is wet. So I fancy the horse. It's my second pick. So that gave me some confidence because, like you, I thought Grey Song needed it a bit slow today.
There's no better trainer with a horse in the Melbourne Cup, with the possible exception of Bart Cummings and Tommy Hughes. He's been a marvellous trainer. Salamander, we all thought had won in 1979, was just pipped by Hyperno. And for the local trainer, a man who trains at Flemington, by golly, to be a popular win. I've got him in my trifectas, Bruce.
So the mare's behind the barrier. The other thing that's, well, not unique to Flemington, because Victoria Park and Adelaide has it too, but you don't have it in your metropolitan tracks, is the straight course here at Flemington. It's tough to back a winner, I think, down the straight.
It is, and for people who aren't used to it, sometimes the wind can play a part and the horses on the outside can be favoured. Other times, there's a slight bias to one side or the other. I think it played fairly even on Saturday. The horses on the outside were only just beaten by those on the rail, and only 3 came down the outside. Let's hope it's fair and even today. The track certainly looks a picture, and it's credit to the curator.
I think if you could say there's one basic difference between a race around a turn, a sprint race, and one up the straight, is that the leader doesn't get as far in front of the back horse down the straight as they do around the turn, because around the turn they can't be 6 and 7 and 8 wide. They stretch out and the leader can pinch a break. Up the straight there's normally only probably 4 or 5 lengths between first and last.
Exactly right, and yet you've still got to hold and wait for the right time. I think some ordinary jockeys go too early in straight track racing. I think you've nearly got to have the clock tower in your sights at Flemington before you finally let go.
Well, it's been hard to find a favourite here. Probably Recurring will run it. Gerald Ryan's got just one runner here today. We know what a great trainer he is. He had Clangalang have a big success in the Epsom, and Recurring will run the favourite, number 6, as we join Greg Miles for the 4th today on Cup Day. It's the Cannon Sprint.
Out in 14, Taste of the Coast is ready. Won 3 races last preparation in 3 different states. Near the outside, Leone Chiara is set. Coming up is Swiss Volt. And that leaves David and Ocha to move in on the outside, and we'll have them right to run. She's a 3 times winner at Flemington. Comes through a race at Caulfield that has provided the winner of this particular event in 2 of the last 3 years. Now there she goes into the outside, so they're ready to run. Racing now. Recurring jumped OK in the middle of the line, and so too did Covered Thee. They're going to edge to the outside rail. David and Notcher had begun very fast out there, and Leone Chiara's in behind that bunch of horses, and they certainly have split. They've left with only 2 horses going down on the flat side, and Miss Marion is leading that side of the course ahead of Palace Archway. All of them virtually out this side, coming towards the 650. David and Notcher has the lead to Covered Thee. Up there too is Edgston in 3rd place in the line with Raja Lane, and they're followed then by Taste of the Coast, Leone Chiara. Back there with those is Recurring as they come to the 400 metres, and then Dreamliker and a fair way back in the field. Raging Inferno starting to make some ground, and Miss Marion and Palace Archway over on the inside of the course. They look to be a little too far back, coming towards the 200 metres. Raja Lane with a big weight. Leone Chiara out in the middle, and Recurring with Edgston now close. Leone Chiara and Recurring going to the lead together with Edgston. It's Leone Chiara and Recurring. Leone Chiara, 2 good beats Recurring. Photo 3rd between Edgston and Palace Archway over on the inside. And then River Woman, Raging Inferno, Unguarded Moment, followed by Swiss Volt. And then came Miss Marion on the inside from Venus Agogo and Meldemur, Covered Thee and Taste of the Coast. Then came Dreamliker, and Raja Lane weakened with her big weight, and back towards the tail, David Anoche, who showed plenty of speed but weakened out.
Well, the money was right. Pat kept telling us that it was 12 and 6, the 2 they wanted. Ken, you were pretty keen on both of them as well. And 12, who the big raps were on, was able to get the money today. Leone Chiara over Recurring, both very good fillies and mares, I should say, and both on the up. They're the 2 to watch. Just away from the outside, and they drew away from Edgerton and Raja Lane and a couple of the others, and officially 3rd has gone to Edgerton, so it's 12.62, the time 63.5. Both first up, Ken, both set for this race, and they've run right up to their form And Craig Newitt, who's got a big day today, he's riding in the Cup with a chance, has come home a winner on this very, very good mare, Leone Chiara.
Yes, Bruce, and Craig, a very good win by this mare today, and gee, what a day to start, way to start the race as for you for Melbourne Cup Day.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Look, she's a real superstar. She had a nice off running behind and probably got a little too far out of our ground today, but she's all guts and she's too good.
Craig, the important thing is about the track. I know you did come down on the grandstand side, but the track you rode earlier in the day, the track seems as if it's perfect for the Melbourne Cup, doesn't it?
Track's in sensational order for today.
And this is your second ride in the Melbourne Cup?
Yeah, that's right. I rode last year in 10th, so hopefully we'll go 9 better today.
Well, that's a nice way to look at it. But congratulations on your win today. And Danny O'Brien turns his mares out, turns all his horses out in good condition, doesn't he?
Danny's probably one of the most underrated trainers in Australia. He does a terrific job with them. When they step out in the city, they're always 110%.
Congratulations. Good luck in the Cup.
Thank you.
And here is the winning trainer, Danny O'Brien. Congratulations, only lightly raced, but gee, she's done a good job.
Yeah, she's got a lot of ability. That was her third win from 4 runs. She's got the track record at Sandown. I think she'll be a very good sprinter in the order.
And just gave her a nice little freshen after the Sandown win too, Danny.
We did. We had her in on Caulfield Cup Day, but when the track came up fast, we decided to wait, and it's paid off.
What now?
She may have one more run, or we may just put her away and get her really cherry ripe for the autumn.
What about winning at Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day? That must just be such a thrill.
No, it's fantastic for everyone, the owners and all your friends and that watch the Melbourne Cup. We're thrilled.
Danny O'Brien, congratulations.
Thank you.
Craig Newitt on Ain't Seen Nothing in the Cup, so he could have a huge... Interestingly, Ken, they weren't on the outside rail. They were probably 6 or 7 horses in those two.
Yes, they were. They raced towards the outside section of the track, but off the rail. I like horses that are held up just behind the speed in those straight 6 races. Very hard to lead all the way. The kid rode that mare a treat, and as the trainer said, she's had 4 starts for 3 wins by Lion Hunter, a former smart sprinter trained by Ken Turner in Queensland. Is an emerging sire in Australia, and she's just one of many Lion Hunters that can run.
I reckon the recurring connections are a bit stiff because they had her spot on and she's run into a mare just a little bit better on the day. But follow both of them. Craig Newitt's comment, I reckon, was a beauty. She's a superstar. Well, she's not quite yet, but right now that's what she feels like to him. Good on you. So those numbers on that one, 12, 6 and 2 on the Cannon Sprint. A little earlier we saw Melanie Simons having a picnic and enjoying herself. I wonder where she's right now at Flemington.
I'm here with Mike McKinnon, Executive Director of Chubb Security. You're sponsoring race 10, but more importantly, you're looking after us today.
We are indeed. We've got a lot of people here today making sure everybody can find their way to their seats and only get to the appropriate areas, over 800. It's a fantastic day, and we want to make sure everybody has a safe and enjoyable one. That's our main goal here today.
And you have another rather big job.
Absolutely. The Melbourne Cup itself's worth over $100,000, just the Cup. And we want to make sure absolutely that nobody other than the winning owners get a hold of that at the end of the day. So that's one of our tasks.
You bet. Well, we're glad you're here. We wouldn't want that to go amiss.
Let's be honest. People come to a racetrack hoping to go with more than they come. And so do the owners of racehorses. They have to spend over $26,000 in nomination and acceptance fees just to get a run in the Melbourne Cup. That's besides all their training and veterinary fees.
It's quite a substantial expense, but the rewards are great as well.
The winner gets $2.7 million and the trophy's worth $100,000. The losers won't go home too shabby either. In fact, even 10th place gets $90,000, which for the overseas runners means they cover their costs. Just occasionally, horses do get under the handicapper's guard, getting a little well-treated on the weights, in the past and present.
Probably a horse like Brew can come into its own very quickly. And I suppose this year, a horse who springs to mind would be a horse like Frightening from the Bart Cummings stable.
Good judge, Jim Bowler, so Frightening, a bit of a tip there. Now, correct weight. Weight is right after the Cannon Sprint. 3/4 of a length by a length and a half, the margins there. 63.5 won the time. Leone Chiara at 8:30 and 3:30. Recurring at 2:20, Edgerton at 3:10, Quinella 1940, the trifecta not hard to have, 439.50, and the exacta $42.20 as we join Jim Wilson for the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we couldn't ask for a better spring day as we count down to the Tooheys New Melbourne Cup for 2003. Race 4 on the program was the Cannon Sprint. Cannon have been great supporters of the Victoria Racing Club. And talking about the VRC, represented here in the presentation party by Mrs. Amanda Elliott, committee member, and also the Managing Director of Cannon Australia, Mr. Shuichi Sukahara, to say a few words.
His Excellency and Governor General, Chairman and Committee of Victoria Racing Club, and ladies and gentlemen, Cannon is very proud to be associated with Melbourne Cup Day. I am pleased to announce winner of Cannon Sprint. Congratulations to the winning managing owner, Mr. Ken Tanas.
So congratulations all round there after the Cannon Sprint, the fourth race today. We move to the Schweppes Agram 1000. And this race over 1,000 metres, obviously. Barabba Road, the South Australian at $7.50. Express Pool, $11. Mare Hoob at $4.30. Look how short he is in New South Wales. John O'Shea, $2.20. He's a good trainer, isn't he? In good form, Ken.
Yeah, very much an up-and-coming trainer, one of Sydney's better trainers, and you can see the opinion held of him at home with those tote odds.
Clear out short here at $4.50. Rosarino Big Odds. Regal Thrills, one start in Adelaide for one win. The McAvoy stable at $6.10 over the page. Some talent here, but there are good odds. Epic Theatre, Inspection, and then True Jester, Wild Chili. And Jimenez is interesting. First start in a race by Encosta de Lago. So they're the totes. Mare Hoob and also Clear Out are the two. Now, Mare Hoob, $2.20 in Sydney, Pat. What about here?
A little bit better than that here, Bruce, but you're still getting overs on the tote. We expect Mare Hoob to remain pretty tight all the way through betting, just talking to a couple of the bookmakers. And the punters are cashed up after Leone Chiara in the last race. They really had a good go at that. But Mare Hoob will start the favourite at this stage, early in betting. Clear Out also well in commission. Regal Thrills as well under the double figure line, as is Barabba Road up top. But not a lot of business being done just here at the moment. I think the bookmakers are expecting that Mare Hoob could be the subject of a good betting plunge on this one.
Darren Beedman to ride. Ken and the doctor both like Mare Hoob, and Peter's gone for Regal Thrills in the race. So Sydney and Adelaide well represented. The 1,000 metres, well, I guess they're going to come to the outside, Ken.
Yes, going on the last race, Bruce, there was obviously the mail is that it's not as fast over on the rail. It was really hard to judge there because the two that went over on the rail probably didn't have a chance anyway, but expect them to come down the outside rail.
Let's have a look at the totes on the Cup, the Tooheys New Melbourne Cup, with 6.6 million in the pool.
There's a few discrepancies too, Bruce, when you see the different states, like Mill Street 7 points shorter in New South Wales, Jardine's Lookout 7 points shorter in Victoria.
Value to be made. I mean, if you've got an account in each state, and some do, it's the way to go, I guess.
Exactly, and like people stick with their home horses. County Tyrone 10 points shorter in New South Wales. He's trained at Newcastle than he is in Melbourne.
So over the page, and still frightening, really tight here. $5.10 in Queensland, South Australia, and the Northern Territory on Unitab.
Yeah, Grace Song's very solid there, isn't he? $9 on Super Tab. Maccabee Diva, favourite with bookies, around about $7 earlier in the day. Is better on the tote. You can back her on the tote. She's at the worst 8.5 to 1 in New South Wales.
And Zagalia at about $19, $20 as we go to the last page. So $20. Have a look at New South Wales.
Well, she's trained by Clary Connors, and John Singleton would be have been trumpeting her chances for a few days up there.
Peter Donegan, if I told you Frightening would be favourite for the Melbourne Cup 3 weeks ago, what would you have said to me?
It just wouldn't be the first Tuesday in November without this gentleman, Bart Cummings, number 12. What chance?
Well, his winning form's good form. His winning the Moonee Valley Cup was pretty impressive to me. He's done a treat since, and I believe he'll stay okay. Got a good rider on, reasonable barrier 4. Beautiful day, nice day to win a good race.
I asked you the story yesterday for those people who didn't hear it. How did this horse get his name?
Well, it was getting close to the time when I had to find a name for him for a barrier. You can't name running a barrier trial without a name, so we had to He's doing a bit of exercise. He looks terrific. He looks so good it was frightening. So that's what we named him. What about that?
Yeah, it's a fantastic name, and it would be a fantastic training performance. You're the greatest Melbourne Cup trainer of any era, and it would only be icing on the cake if it's number 12 today. Best of luck, Bart.
Well, it's a nice start with another one. Thanks a lot.
Good luck.
The Cup's King Bart Cummings with 11 already at home. Pat, out in the betting ring, frightening so short on the tote. It means that bookmakers probably don't have to push him out all that far.
That's exactly right. Look, Bruce, still not a lot of big money at this stage. I think a few of the bookies described it as the mums and dads sort of money. They're waiting a little way for the barrage to come a little later on. But this is where we are at this stage with Maccabi Diva and Frightening well in commission at this stage. As I said, there's a big watch on Mamul. They're expecting money. There's been not a lot of money, but it hasn't moved from its double each way quote, Mamul. So that's the watch. Distinctly Secret right there. Fantastic is right there as well. And Hugs Dancer, as I mentioned a little earlier on, there has been some money for Hugs Dancer. But at this stage, Maccabi Diva holding down favouritism, being challenged by Frightening.
So still good value there, but as Pat said, probably the real professional money still to come on the Tui's new Melbourne Cup as we join Jason Dunstall.
Cheers. Congratulations on purchasing a Melbourne Cup pin. Of course, the proceeds going to a fantastic cause in Camp Quality. Now, on behalf of Channel 7 and Tui's New, we'd like to say thanks by basically giving you a 3-month supply of Tui's New. How does that sound?
Well, that sounds okay. I'm happy to accept that, Jason.
Is there any chance you might be able to find a few mates that'll come around and help you drink a bit?
No, it's just me. I haven't got any mates.
Another happy winner, of course. If you're sitting at home, you can win as well. A 3-month supply of Tui's New simply by making a donation to the Camp Quality Tui's New Melbourne Cup Appeal, 1300 662 267. And the home viewer winner from this hour just happens to be Sharon Knoll from Yarraville in Victoria.
Now, we are top-to-toe chocolate here, aren't we? Yeah. Look at this. So we've got lightweight crinkle chiffon, fine jersey pants. Is that a catsuit?
It is. It is.
Boys in hats, what do you think of that? Good news?
Yeah, very nice, very nice. Keep up the tradition.
What about boys in good hats? What do you think of that?
Good hats like my hat?
Now, we had a little bit of wind earlier, but I think that's ridiculous.
Yes, I drove with my head out of the car window.
Now, I call this outfit Caravan Park Couture. Now, I've heard of fully coordinated outfits. What happened here? We had the dress, we had the shoes, we had the bag. We didn't have the hat. We looked in a corner and there was a little cheeky red lampshade waiting to be had.
It is a lampshade.
It is a lampshade? It really was a lampshade.
Yeah.
I was right, viewers. We have an interesting colour combination today. Is that peppermint or spearmint with your fuchsia?
It's a spearmint colour with fuchsia trimmings. Yes, that's correct.
Did you knock that little one up yourself?
No, a designer in Perth, Western Australia knocked this up for me.
Is he still in business? Now we've got a bit of a lime number. Now, did you know it's unlucky to wear green to the races? Have you ever heard that?
Yes, I have, but I don't believe it.
Are you a winner at the races when you gamble normally?
Yes, I am.
Not today. Now, the catwalks of Milan have been showing green. So from the catwalks of Milan to the course at Flemington, you are at Fashion Central.
How'd you like to be dressed by Wayne Cooper, who's one of the top fashion designers? Can he not only dress you, but he'd abuse you at the same time?
I think you might give up on me, Bruce.
20 degrees out there at the moment and warming up. Adam Hamilton's just come back in. It must be a great atmosphere. We're feeling it in here.
The sun's got a lot of kick to it, Bruce. There's no doubt about that. And also the track's drying out rapidly. I start to worry about a horse like Pentastic in the Cup now. It's getting to that hard, the surface, I think.
A few of the fillies look all right out there too, both on and off the track.
Got to say, I've had a little bit of a sniff around too, Kenny.
Well, speaking of Pentastic, changing the subject, let's start. We're going through the horses. We went through the Ain't Seen Nothing group a moment ago with Simon and Ken. Let's start with the group headed up by Piaget, a stablemate of Pentastic. I got the impression that David Hall would have been just as happy for this fellow to stay home today.
Yeah, well, look, he won the Brisbane Cup in June, but unfortunately he's not that horse now. He's had enough. This is... watch Pentastic's run here from a cup point of view, steaming down the outside after Casual Pass, and he actually finished second. But Piaget, he's no Pentastic. He had his big day in June when he won the Brisbane Cup, not for the Melbourne Cup. We won't see him today.
Lee Freedman has been left with one runner, and there's some money for Turmeric.
Yeah, and doesn't really surprise me, Bruce, because I thought the Geelong Cup run was terrific. Dropped 7 kilos on that performance, Turmeric from Geelong, up to 3,200 metres. The distance he won the Perth Cup over, and the dry track is ideal. I think he's a genuine roughie with a winning hope.
Yeah, he's at reasonable odds, Turmeric, but coming in at the moment, Frightening has been the, well, Mummify was the talk of the town this morning, but right now I reckon Frightening is the talk of the town.
In the first week of October, this horse was at 200 to 1 to win the Melbourne Cup, and today he's going to run around about 6 to 1. He's won his last 2 at Caulfield and then the Moonee Valley Gold Cup, and he's just getting better with each run. And of course, why he is favourite is that he's trained by James Bartholomew Cummings, who's going for his 12th Cup win. He is almost the Melbourne Cup himself, Bart. Shane Dye has flown back from Hong Kong to ride the horse. He's got a super chance. The horse is frightening in appearance, and, well, he might frighten a few of his rivals.
Now, Chumperta is named after an Hungarian philosopher. I think you have to be a philosopher to really like its chances today.
Yeah, I'd certainly agree with that, Bruce. He's just a real roughie going into the race. Queensland Derby runner-up back in June. Has shown some glimpses, even though his form doesn't say so this campaign. I respect his trainer, Peter Moody. He looks like a little bit of a baby going into this assignment to me. Not so much physically, but just mentally. He is only a 4-year-old. Look, he did make up a little bit of late ground there at Moonee Valley in the Cup there behind Frightening, but how would he even turn the tables on Frightening, let alone a few others here?
Ken, we saw the story with Darren Weir earlier. He's appealing against a suspension. He's about to become a father again. And he's got She's Archie in the Cup. Not bad form. Good run at Geelong.
Yeah, I dismissed her early, Bruce, but the more I think of her, she's a bit of a moody customer and she just drops out. But at the odds she is, around about 60 to 1, she could represent a value, particularly in the trifectas. She'll steam home when a lot of the others are looking for somewhere to hide in the final 2 furlongs. She'll still hit the post. And a run when second in the Geelong Cup was quite good.
She's overcome a big injury to get back on the track too, so it's a good story. Now, this is a mare that's got a huge chance. John Singleton owns this mare, Zagalia. There's a lot to like about her.
Bruce, I'll be surprised if Zagalia doesn't appear in your top 3, because you probably wrapped this mare more from the Cox Plate than anybody else. The Caulfield Cup run was excellent on a day where it was pretty hard to make ground there. And just looking at Zagalia, well, I think she's spot on for this race today. She's been to the distance a couple of times now, winning the Oaks in Queensland and that terrific run at Caulfield. She's ready.
Speaking of terrific, the bloke that rode terrific and had a tier or 2 is out there with Peter Donegan. It's Shane Dye, who rides Frightening, and Peter also rode Zagalia. So you could ask him a few here.
Yes, we certainly can. Shane, first of all, welcome back. And Bruce was just talking about that memorable day in 1989. What do you recall about it?
Well, I won the race. It was an amazing feeling, you know. It was my first Melbourne Cup win. I've only had the one, but it hit me after the line because as I was growing up, I was born to be a jockey, and in New Zealand, it's as much New Zealand's race as it is Australia. We stop, the nation stops, we all have sweepstakes, and ever since I can remember, I always run the sweepstakes. And we used to be all around the TV watching the race with my grandparents, parents and everything, and it was a real big issue. And when they put the TV cameras on me, it hit me because my family would have been back home watching all around the couch, same thing, and boom, great feeling.
14 years on, do you think there might be a tear in the eye if you come back first on Frightening today?
Oh, definitely, no doubt about it. Of course there will be. It's the race that stops the nation. It's the race that every jockey wants to win. And I won't be embarrassed or ashamed. The tears will flow. That's just me. I'm emotional.
Finally, on the world scale, and you are now an international jockey, where does this race now rate?
Well, if you asked me 15 years ago, I said it wouldn't rate. Now it's very high up. They